Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. We are taking a break over the holidays, so for the last week of the year, we thought we'd do our top 10 stories of 2017, and this rundown is dedicated to all of you, every single one of our viewers. We are so grateful for your support. Let's get started with the rundown. All right, let's start with number 10 and work our way down from there. The 10th biggest story of the year are tech trends and what they mean for the entertainment industry. 2017 saw big leaps forward for virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. Although big headsets like the Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and PlayStation VR hit shelves in 2016, this year saw all of them inch closer and closer to the mainstream with new games and price cuts that make them much more appealing to mass consumers. If you're not convinced that VR is the future, Microsoft continued to move forward with HoloLens and other mixed reality devices through their new Windows Mixed Reality platform. MR basically combines virtual reality with augmented reality, with users interacting with 3D shapes and objects inside the real world, which Microsoft thinks will be the future of both work-based applications and entertainment. They've also partnered with companies like Samsung, HP, and Lenovo to create headsets for the Windows MR platform, although we're still waiting for the retail version of HoloLens. Surprisingly, they haven't said when or if headsets like this will be compatible with Xbox consoles. The new Xbox One X, which hit stores this year and is billed as the most powerful console in the world, would certainly be able to run VR and MR apps, especially given that the less powerful PS4 has its own VR headset. Perhaps that's coming in 2018. Another big tech trend in 2017 is the increasing popularity of online streaming. With streaming sites like Netflix and Amazon Prime having great success, traditional film and television studios are rushing to create their own subscription-based streaming services. Disney announced plans to create their own streaming platform in the next few years, aided by their recent acquisition of a majority ownership stake in Hulu, and other film distributors are expected to follow suit. On television, CBS launched their subscription-based all-access streaming service, aided by the exclusive flagship series Star Trek Discovery, which is easily the biggest streaming show ever made by a traditional TV network. Warner Brothers and DC are working on a similar streaming service, complete with exclusive new shows like the live-action Teen Titans. Even Apple is getting into the game, spending billions of dollars creating their own exclusive content for Apple devices. Before you write off television, there is one big hurdle to all of this. The U.S. government's FCC recently voted to repeal net neutrality regulations, which means that internet service providers can now throttle the online content of their competitors. This creates problems for companies like Netflix, which are rivals of ISP conglomerates like Verizon and Time Warner Cable. Expect this story to continue and get much more complicated next year. All of this streaming has taken its toll on traditional movie theaters, which brings us to the 9th biggest story of 2017. This year saw one of the steepest declines in film attendance in modern box office history. Summer 2017 was particularly dismal, with all the big movies combined only taking in about $3.78 billion, a 16% decline from last year. There are several factors that contributed to this. On top of the fact that online streaming is slowly taking over the market, many of the movies released this year just weren't very good, with big-budget movies like The Mummy and Pirates of the Caribbean 5 being panned by critics and bombing accordingly.
You've ruined it.
DC's recent Justice League also underperformed, failing to even come close to Marvel's superhero ensemble, The Avengers, but it wasn't all bad news. There were a few surprise hits like Wonder Woman, which exceeded expectations, as well as the horror movie It, which shocked analysts to earn almost $700 million worldwide. Another horror movie, Get Out, earned a surprise $250 million worldwide, and all three of these movies have one thing in common: they were good. This shows that Hollywood might be able to reverse their decline by making more movies that are actually worth watching and not just expecting people to swallow another crappy Transformers sequel. Then again, even great movies like Blade Runner 2049 bombed at the box office, so it seems that all of this is part of a greater trend away from traditional film viewership. The good news for Hollywood is that film attendance is growing in other parts of the world, namely China, which is poised to overtake the US as the largest film market in the world by 2019. This will likely change the kinds of movies that Hollywood makes, catering their films to Chinese audiences rather than just Americans. Looking ahead, the 2017 box office will make a little bit of recovery now that Star Wars: The Last Jedi is here. The film is already raking in the dough worldwide. All right, that wraps up this edition of our top news stories of the year. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new rundown for you, looking at number 8 and number 7 on our list. So please come back for that, and also check out all the other content we've made for you. If you dig it, hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button too.